It's one of the most useful tools in my arsenal, and the best part, it only cost me 55 bucks. This is the Yongnuo YN216, and this is honestly one of my favorite little pieces of equipment that I've ever actually come across. This is an incredibly affordable light. It is $55 right now on B&H. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I have changed cameras over years, I have changed lenses and equipment over the year. This little $55 light has been with me on almost every single shoot I have done for the last 4 years. It is so versatile, it is so useful that I use it literally everywhere, and it's just something I wanted to share with you. Now, let's get something out of the way right now. This is not what I consider a key light. Now, it is super punchy. I mean, this is a very, very bright light. It's got a ton of kick for the price, but I would really consider this, in my opinion, one of the best accent slash hair slash kicker lights that you can find. And why do you need a kicker light? Why is a kicker light so important? Well, if you're a working practical cinematographer or shooter, accent lighting needs to be one of those things that you're bringing into your toolkit every time you come on set, because that's one of those things that help, I think, separate your work from the more amateur looking people. You need to be able to walk into a room, a plain room, and be able to shape it. How many of you have been in doctor's offices with blank white walls or boring walls? You need to add shape and texture to that wall, and this light is fantastic for you. And I'll tell you what, let's look at a practical case in point. Look at the wall behind me. As fate would happen to have it, I have a Yongnuo YN216 up there and a YN216 down there, adding shape to it. Let's go ahead and take a look at what this scene would look like if I didn't have that accent light playing into my scene. So let's take a look. There you go. Now, you can see that's two YN216s, not much, but look at the difference it makes in this room and this set as you do it. I have a just plain wall behind me. There's no texture, there's no interest to it. But if I add those back on, boom, there you go. I've automatically painted and added interest and just general shape to that wall that was a flat object before. I really think that if you're looking at getting accent lighting, it's just not practical to walk around with one light. You really, in my opinion, need 3 to 4 small little lights you can take with you on every set that can serve as accent. Because of that, the cost is really going to come into play. And $55 for one of these lights, think about it. You can get 4 of those things for less than 250 bucks. That is a pretty incredible deal. All right, so let's talk off right away what you get for this $55 massive investment you're gonna make in this light. And the first thing is, let's just output, right? First thing you need to think about any light is output. And this thing has an incredible output of light once you get into it. It's a very, very punchy light. You can see just how bright my face is there as I go. It's completely obliterating me on this shot. So this really gives you a lot of options to go in there. That's really the first thing. The other thing that I think is really, really awesome about this are these barn doors that come on it. Now, granted, they're not the most effective barn doors you've ever come across, but having a light this small that doesn't just vomit light everywhere, that I can control that light to a degree, for me is very, very important. And if you look behind me once again, you can see I can use those blades of light to help shape and give me a little more control over my background options. The other thing about this light that I think is just absolutely awesome is it has a ton of power options that honestly completely baffles me for having this many options in a light this cheap. The first one is you have basically a Sony NPF battery right here that you can put on. This is probably the main way you're gonna think. It's got a lock on there, which is really, really good. The lock means that it's not gonna pop off on you accidentally. You put it in there, you lock it, push the lock, you release it. If you look on the back here, it's actually got, look at that, AA battery compartment. Let's say you're on set, you run out of your MPS for whatever reason, you can just put AA's in there and switch it in and power it as well. And then the other thing that I love is if you look on the side, there is an AC power outlet here. I'll put that right there, see if it actually focuses on it. But I can basically get an AC power adapter, plug that in, and get one. And you know, you can find one for 12 bucks on B&H. That's a universal AC adapter, and go with it. Another great thing about this light, that is obviously something I love, that I need in any kind of accent light, is it is bi-color. And you can see here on the back that I can dial up my bi-color. I can go from 5600, and it's really easy, or I can switch over here, right there, and I can jump up my 3200 Kelvin. And you can see, super easy to work with, very, very simple. You have a 3200 Kelvin, you have a 5600 Kelvin, and you also have a button here where you can set this button to be coarse or fine. So if I put it on fine, if I set it on coarse, it goes very, very fast, right? But if I set it on fine, you can see it's a much slower and refined jump there to come up. I personally put it on coarse most of the time. I'm cool. I just want to be able to jump and get it on fast and do that. The other good thing that's nice is if you hold this battery button down, look at that. It'll give you an idea of what your battery life is looking like on your light, which is really useful because, hey, this is primarily used as a battery operated light. You kind of want to know what you're working with. All right, let's talk about the base of this light, because this is one of those things that, honestly, like, I just can't believe how much versatility you get from one $55 light. So as you can see, I can turn this screw right here, and I can tilt my light up and down. Very, very helpful, right? But if I take this screw out, this is actually a GoPro mount that's built in the bottom light. I can actually take this screw out and put it in any of my GoPro mounts that I have. So let's say I have like a GoPro, I have like a flexible GoPro arm there. I could actually take this, click it on something, and I could put the light right up here on the GoPro mount. Just really, really amazing, very, very well thought out. The other thing that I love about the bottom of this light is it is a cold shoe mount. So let's say I can stick this on if I have a camera or I have a cage, I can stick this on my cage. And on the very bottom of it, it's got a 1/4 inch mount, which is super, super helpful, putting this, attaching this to lots of different things. So it really gives you a ton of variety of what you can do. And then really, the last thing that comes, one of the things that comes in the box is you just have this little flash base that, honestly, I put it right on my cold shoe mount right here, and boom, I have a nice stand. I can put that. I use this combination all the time. I'm always setting these things on the ground and tilting it up and pointing it to get stuff on walls and accent lights. So just really, really, really awesome. Other options about this light, if you are interested, it is bi-color. It is not RGB, but it does come with these little gels, and I'll let you look at them. It basically comes with a 4-color gel set. It comes with a blue, a frosted, a red, and an orange. This is not like a true CTO or CTB, but let's say for some reason you really want to make something extra blue. Well, you can slip this on. They click on just like that and do it. So just a ton of options you get in a $55 light. Now, it's not a perfect light. For $55, there are some drawbacks and there are some things that you need to consider when you're doing it. And the first one really comes down to, you know, it does have barn doors are cool, but for some inexplicable reason, the barn doors are reflective. I don't really get the reason of it. I guess they're trying to basically improve the light output by bouncing off there, but it kind of defeats the point of the barn door. That being said, there is an easy fix to it, and I'll show you what you do. You can take some spray paint, go ahead and spray paint your doors, and boom, pretty easy. You get nice black things. I've done that, super easy, definitely worth it. I feel it really increases that light control and the light spill you get from the light and makes these barn doors way more useful. If you get one of these things, I would definitely recommend getting that. The other downside to this is that I would say is that while this base is awesome and versatile because it is that GoPro mount, it is plastic, and honestly, it will probably break over time. I've actually had 4 of these at this point, and I've had 2 of them over time just through wear and tear and drops and stuff. The base did break over time. Now, there's things you can mount in this otherwise. The light themselves still work great, but this base is the weak point of the YN216, and so you just need to be aware of that. Just be careful with the base because it can break. Other con that I've heard, now I'm the deaf director, so this does never bother me in any way, shape, or form, but if you cut this thing on high, it does have a little bit of fan noise. So don't put this right by the camera. Your camera may pick up that fan noise. But as I said, if you're using this for a kicker or an accent light, man, you're not gonna hear it. It's not gonna show up. You'll be completely okay. Couple notes about this light if you are getting it, just to, I think, completely unlock everything you want from it. The first is, I mentioned this earlier, it does not come with an AC adapter in there, but it can use one. I would recommend picking up just a small, cheap AC adapter. This one was 12 bucks on B&H. Just really, really great. I got a couple of these, and honestly use this for stuff other than light. I have so many accessories that I need for this. So it's just a great little tool to have. And this allows me, I know I can plug this in the background. I don't have to worry about a battery running off the rest of the day. Super nice to have. The other thing that I would consider very, very important to have is this. This is an Impact Rapid Baby 1/4 inch to 20 mil threaded adapter. Now what's great about this is I can take this and screw it right on the bottom of my light, and check this out. Boom, I can pop that on a C-stand or an adapter and I'm good to go. And I cannot tell you, I use this thing on C-stands all the time. Having this is super great. These are very, very affordable to get. And honestly, if you don't have a couple of these, you should probably have them in your bag no matter what, because you can always use them. But I think this really, really unlocks what this light can do. Yeah, and that's basically it. That's all I have to say about this little $55 light. It's a great accent light. I cannot recommend having enough of these in your kit. And if you are an Aputure MC person, that's another light that I would compare strongly to this. I would actually say if you're interested in that, the MC is better than this in a lot of ways. It is RGB, it is programmable, but I actually end up using this in different situations than I use the MC. The MC vomits light out a lot. I feel like I have a hard time controlling it. And I just feel like I get better arcs and control with the lights of this. So actually for an accent light, depending where I am, I will use this over the MC in certain situations. Do yourself a favor, guys, just go pick this up. This is one of those things I cannot recommend high enough. I guarantee if you use this, you'll find yourself using it all the time. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Please leave me any questions if you have anything down below. Please subscribe, that always helps me out. Yeah, guys, go out there, keep on shooting, and I'll talk to you soon.